Hello and welcome back to Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide here on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. If you are joining in as a replay viewer of this special premiere, I'm glad that you're here. Go ahead and let me know in the comments, hashtag replay. If you're brand new to my audience, go ahead and click that subscribe button and enable the notification so that you don't miss anything in the future. Just in case you were wondering, we are reading through the Bible in 2025. Yes, all of it, all 66 books. And I'm so excited about it. And so we are also at this moment that I'm recording, we are in the middle of a 21-day fast. So if you have not gotten a chance to watch Morning Stir prior to this, you can also go to the Morning Stir playlist and pick up where you left off or where we left off or whatever the case may be. But we're going to dive right in. We left off ready to start off at chapter 25 of the book of Genesis, and we are reading through the Message version of the Bible. So let's go ahead and dive in. Genesis chapter 25. Abraham married a second time. His new wife was named Keturah. She gave birth to Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan had Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's descendants were the Ashurim, the Letushim, and the Lumim. Midian and Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldeh, all from the line of Keturah. But Abraham gave everything he possessed to Isaac. While he was still living, he gave gifts to the sons he had by his concubines, but then sent them away to the country of the east, putting a good distance between them and his son Isaac. Abraham lived 175 years. Then he took his final breath. He died happy at a ripe old age, full of years, and was buried with his family. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar, the Hittite, next to Mamre. It was the field that Abraham had bought from the Hittites. Abraham was buried next to his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac. Isaac lived at Beer Lahai Roy. That's something how him and Ishmael came together as brothers to bury their father. That blesses me. This is the family tree of Ishmael, son of Abraham, the son that Hagar, the Egyptian, Sarah's maid, bore to Abraham. These are the names of Ishmael's sons in the order of their births. Nebaioth, Ishmael's firstborn, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. All the sons of Ishmael, their settlements and encampments were named after them. 12 princes with their 12 tribes. Ishmael lived 137 years. When he breathed his last and died, he was buried with his family. His children settled down all the way from Havilah near Egypt eastward to Shur in the direction of Assyria. The Ishmaelites didn't get along with any of their kin. This is the family tree of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram. She was the sister of Laban, the Aramean. Isaac prayed hard to God for his wife because she was barren. God answered his prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant. But the children tumbled and kicked inside her so much that she said, if this is the way it's going to be, why go on living? She went to God to find out what was going on. God told her, two nations are in your womb, two peoples butting heads while still in your body. One people will overpower the other, and the older will serve the younger. When her time to give birth came, sure enough, there were twins in her womb. The first came out reddish, as if snugly wrapped in a hairy blanket. They named him Esau, hairy. His brother followed. His fist clutched tight to Esau's heel. They named him Jacob Heel. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. The boys grew up. Esau became an expert hunter, an outdoorsman. Jacob was a quiet man, preferring life indoors among the tents. Isaac loved Esau because he loved his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. One day, Jacob was cooking a stew. Esau came in from the field starved. Esau said to Jacob, "Give me some of that red stew. I'm starved." That's how he came to be called Edom, red. Jacob said, "Make me a trade, my stew for your rights as the firstborn." Esau said, "I'm starving. What good is a birthright if I'm dead?" Jacob said, "First, swear to me." And he did it. On oath, Esau traded away his rights as the firstborn. Jacob gave him bread and the stew of lentils. He ate and drank, got up and left. That's how Esau shrugged off his rights as the firstborn. Chapter 26. There was a famine in the land, as bad as the famine during the time of Abraham. And Isaac went down to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. God appeared to him and said, "Don't go down to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Stay here in this land, and I'll be with you and bless you. I'm giving you and your children all these lands, fulfilling the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I'll make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky and give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will get a blessing for themselves through your descendants." And why? Because Abraham obeyed my summons and kept my charge, my commands, my guidelines, my teachings. So Isaac stayed put in Gerar. The man of the place questioned him about his wife. He said, "She's my sister." He was afraid to say, "She's my wife." He was thinking, "These men might kill me to get Rebecca. She's so beautiful." Sound familiar? One day, after they had been there quite a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out of his window and saw Isaac fondling with his wife Rebekah. Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, "So, she's your wife? Why did you tell us she's my sister?" Isaac said, "Because I thought I might get killed by someone who wanted her." Abimelech said, "But think of what you might have done to us. Given a little more time, one of the men might have slept with your wife. You would have been responsible for bringing guilt down on us." Then Abimelech gave orders to his people: "Anyone who so much as lays a hand on this man or his wife dies." Isaac planted crops in that land and took in a huge harvest. God blessed him. The man got richer and richer by the day until he was very wealthy. He accumulated flocks and herds and many, many servants, so much so that the Philistines began to envy him. They got back at him by throwing dirt and debris into all the wells that his father's servants had dug back in the days of his father Abraham, clogging up all the wells. Finally, Abimelech told Isaac, "Leave. You've become far too big for us." So Isaac left. He camped in the valley of Gerar and settled down there. Isaac dug again the wells which were dug in the days of his father Abraham, but had been clogged up by the Philistines after Abraham's death. And he renamed them using the original names his father had given them. One day, as Isaac's servants were digging in the valley, they came on a well of spring water. The shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's shepherds, claiming, "This water is ours." So Isaac named the well Esek, quarrel, because they quarreled over it. They dug another well, and there was a difference over that one also. So he named it Sitnah, accusation. He went on from there and dug yet another well, but there was no fighting over this one. So he named it Rehoboth, wide open spaces, saying, "Now God has given us plenty of space to spread out in the land." From there, he went up to Beersheba. That very night, God appeared to him and said, "I am the God of Abraham, your father. Don't fear. a thing because I'm with you. I'll bless you and make your children flourish because of Abraham, my servant. Isaac built an altar there and prayed, calling on God by name. He pitched his tent, and his servants started digging another well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzzath, his advisor, and Phicol, the head of his troops. Isaac asked them, "Why did you come to me? You hate me. You threw me out of your country." They said, "We've realized that God is on your side. We'd like to make a deal between us, a covenant that we maintain friendly relations. We haven't bothered you in the past. We treated you kindly and let you leave us in peace. So God's blessing be with you." Isaac laid out a feast, and they ate and drank together. Early in the morning, they exchanged oaths. Then Isaac said goodbye, and they parted as friends. Later that same day, Isaac's servants came to him with news about the well they had been digging. "We've struck water." Isaac named the well Sheba, oath, and that's the name of the city, Beersheba, oath well, to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. They turned out to be thorns in the sides of Isaac and Rebekah. Chapter 27. When Isaac had become an old man and was nearly blind, he called his eldest son Esau and said, "My son." "Yes, father." "I'm an old man," he said. "I might die any day now. Do me a favor. Get your quiver of arrows and your bow and go out in the country and hunt me some game. Then fix me a hearty meal, the kind that you know I like, and bring it to me to eat so that I can give you my personal blessing before I die." Rebekah was eavesdropping as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. As soon as Esau had gone off to the country to hunt game for his father, Rebekah spoke to her son Jacob. "I just overheard your father talking with your brother Esau. He said, 'Bring me some game and fix a hearty meal so that I can eat and bless you with God's blessing before I die.' Now, my son, listen to me. Do what I tell you. Go to the flock and get me 2 young goats. Pick the best. I'll prepare them into a hearty meal, the kind that your father loves. Then you take it to your father. He'll eat and bless you before he dies." "But mother," Jacob said, "my brother Esau is a hairy man and I have smooth skin. What happens if my father touches me? He'll think I'm playing games with him. I'll bring down a curse on myself instead of a blessing." "If it comes to that," said his mother, "I'll take the curse on myself. Now just do what I say. Go and get the goats." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she cooked a hearty meal, the kind his father loved so much. Rebekah took the dress up clothes of her older son Esau and put them on her younger son Isaac. She took the goat skins and covered his hands and the smooth nape of his neck. Then she placed the hearty meal she had fixed and fresh bread she'd bake into the hands of her son Jacob. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes," he said. "Which son are you?" Jacob answered his father, "I'm your firstborn son Esau. I did what you told me. Come now, sit up and eat of my game so you can give me your personal blessing." Isaac said, "So soon? How did you get it so quickly?" "Because your God cleared the way for me." Isaac said, "Come close, son. Let me touch you. Are you really my son Esau?" So Jacob moved close to his father Isaac. Isaac felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He didn't recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's. But as he was about to bless him, he pressed in, "You sure? You are my son. You are my son Esau." "Yes, I am." Isaac said, "Bring the food so I can eat of my son's game and give you my personal blessing." Jacob brought it to him and he ate. He also brought him wine and he drank. Then Isaac said, "Come close, son, and kiss me." He came close and kissed him, and Isaac smelled the smell of his clothes. Finally, he blessed him. "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of the open country, blessed by God. May God give you of heaven's dew and earth's bounty, of grain and wine. May people serve you and nations honor you. You will master your brothers, and your mother's sons will honor you. Those who curse you will be cursed. Those who bless you will be blessed." And then, right after Isaac had blessed Jacob and Jacob had left, Esau showed up from the hunt. He also had prepared a hearty meal. He came to his father and said, "Let my father get up and eat of his son's game, that he may give me his personal blessing." His father Isaac said, "And who are you?" "I am your son, your firstborn Esau." Isaac started to tremble, shaking violently. He said, "Then who hunted game and brought it to me? I finished a meal just now before you walked in, and I blessed him. He's blessed for good." Esau, hearing his father's words, sobbed violently and most bitterly and cried to his father, "My father, can't you also bless me?" "Your brother," he said, "came here falsely and took your blessing." Esau said, "Not for nothing was he named Jacob the heel. Twice now he's tricked me. First he took my birthright, and now he's taken my blessing." He begged, "Haven't you kept back any blessing for me?" Isaac answered Esau, "I've made him your master and all his brothers and his servants, and lavished grain and wine on him. I've given it all away. What's left for you, my son? But don't you have just one blessing for me, father? Oh, bless me, my father. Bless me." Esau sobbed inconsolably. Isaac said to him, "You live far from earth's bounty, remote from heaven's dew. You live by your sword, hand to mouth, and you serve your brother. But when you can't take it anymore, you break loose and run free." Esau seethed in anger against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He brooded, "The time of for mourning my father's death is close, and then I'll kill my brother Jacob." When these words of her older son Esau were reported to Rebekah, she called her younger son and Jacob and said, "Your brother Esau is plotting vengeance against you. He's going to kill you. Son, listen to me. Get out of here. Run for your life to Haran, to my brother Laban. Live with him for a while until your brother cools down, until his anger subsides and he forgets what you did to him. I'll then send for you and bring you back. Why should I lose both of you the same day?" Rebekah spoke to Isaac, "I'm sick to death of these Hittite women. If Jacob also marries a native Hittite woman, why live?" Chapter 28. So Isaac called in Jacob and blessed him. Then he ordered him, "Don't take a Canaanite wife. Leave at once. Go to Padan Aram, to the family of your mother's father Bethuel. Get a wife for yourself from the daughters of your uncle Laban, and may the strong God bless you and give you many children, a congregation of peoples, and pass on the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants, so that you will get this land in which you live, this land God gave Abraham." So Isaac sent Jacob off. He went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to get a wife there. And while blessing him, commanded, "Don't marry a Canaanite woman," and that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Padan Aram. When Esau realized how deeply his father Isaac disliked the Canaanite women, he went to Ishmael and married Mahalath, the sister of Nebaioth and daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. This was in addition to the wives he already had. Jacob left Beersheba and went to Haran. He came to a certain place and camped for the night, since the sun had set. He took one of the stones there, set it under his head, and lay down to sleep. And he dreamed. A stairway was set on the ground, and it reached all the way to the sky. Angels of God were going up and going down on it. Then God was right before him, saying, I am God, the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. I'm giving the ground on which you are sleeping to you and to your descendants. Your descendants will be as the dust of the earth. They'll stretch from west to east and from north to south. All the families of the earth will bless themselves in you and your descendants. Yes, I'll stay with you. I'll protect you wherever you go, and I'll bring you back to this very ground. I'll stick with you until I've done everything I promised you. Jacob woke up from his sleep. He said, God is in this place, truly. And I didn't even know it. He was terrified. He whispered in awe, incredible, wonderful, holy. This is God's house. This is the gate of heaven. Jacob was up first thing in the morning. He took the stone he had used for his pillow and stood it up as a memorial pillar and poured oil over it. He christened the place Bethel, God's house. The name of the town had been Luz until then. Jacob vowed a vow. If God stands by me and protects me on this journey on which I'm setting out, keeps me in food and clothing, and brings me back in one piece to my father's house, this God will be my God. This stone that I have set up as a memorial pillar will mark this as a place where God lives, and everything you give me, I'll return a tenth to you. We read Genesis chapters 25 through 28. We're going to stop there for today. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow. Again, make sure if you have not dived into our focus fasting for visitation, expecting greater in 2025, go on over to the live streams and get caught up on that. But for now, I will see you all tomorrow where we'll pick up at Genesis chapter 29. We are getting through the Bible.